Hello and welcome to the Gone Traveling Show, where we are talking about the BKT EuroCup. With me, as always, is Sergio Llebres. Sergio, welcome back. How you feeling?
Hi, David. Well, another BKT EuroCup round with some surprises and also with some perfect teams and some winless teams. So let's talk about it. And I think there's so much to talk about. Yeah.
Road to greatness. The overriding theme, I think, is no home sweet home. Only three teams were able to win their home games this week. And looking at the standings, we have five teams that are undefeated, and that being Ulm and Gran Canaria in Group A, and then Bourg, Valencia, and Turk Telekom in Group B. Let's start with the undefeated teams. Who is the most unexpected
Well, for me,
perfect team for you?
I gotta go with Ulm. Not only because the perfect career they're making this year in the EuroCup, but also in the Bundesliga. So I think there's a lot of work that has been doing so great from the coaching staff and also the players because they're so young. We know that they have a lot of young prospects like Pensaraf, Noah Senge, and many more. So I think it's a surprise for all of us because they're competing in like the second best level of Europe, and there are so many experienced guys that they're playing against. So they also have had quite difficult games that they resolve very well, like Juventud. They are a team that knows very well how to play this type of competition. And with a new coach, I think their job is being not perfect, but so surprising for us in this third round.
And you mentioned tough teams in the BBL. They've beaten three teams that have playoff expectations.
Yeah.
Niners Chemnitz, who won the FIBA Europe Cup last year, Würzburg, who was in the FIBA Europe Cup, and MAP Riesen Ludwigsburg. The other two are in the Champions League. One thing that you didn't mention, and this is why they're probably the
Mm.
biggest surprise for me, is look at those three games. They're missing two starters. Kareem Yallo and Tommy Klepais will start on this team, and they haven't played a single game in the Euro Cup this year yet. Yallo played one game in the BBL. He's dealing with a calf injury. Klepais, they really haven't announced what he has. Kind of the way he's talking about it, it might be a back thing. I don't know exactly, but still, you're doing this without. And then in the last game, they were also missing. And this week, they were also missing Marcio Santos, who was unable to go because he was sick. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that you don't have two of your starters. Imagine some of these other teams and you don't have two starters and you have that youth in your squad. So that's almost my pick. The winless teams, and those are Treffel and Wolves in Group A, and then Cluj, Lietuvėlės, and Hamburg in Group B. I'll let you start. Which is the most unexpected?
Well, there are some here that I wouldn't say at the start of the season that they would go winless in three games, but I gotta go with Wolves because I think they have like enough experience to at least win one of the three games they played. It's true that one of those was against Hapoel Tel Aviv in the round two. That was a difficult one on the road, and also in the first round without against Ulm. The most surprising thing I think is like the way they're losing. You can lose these type of games because they're difficult, but the third one, for example, against Bahcesehir, they're a good team, but losing, receiving 80 points and not making like 70 points. I think they're under the expectations now, and I think they're like supedited to what Anthony Cowan is doing right now in the offensive end. And I think there are some players that could go a step forward that they don't really doing right now.
I would have probably said Cluj would have been my most unexpected, especially because you have the two of the three were home games. But they did have pretty big opponents, Borg and Valencia, and then also a Cedevita team that obviously we've said is a lot better. So, but I'm actually going to go with Treffel. And you see, and I thought, okay, you have the guys coming back, and they had the home game that went to overtime in Ulm, and then at Trento, and but you can see how strong they can be. I mean, it was a 5-point loss at home against Juventud. They had an 8-point lead in the third, and it was a tie game with 72 seconds left against Juventud. So I kind of thought, okay, maybe they see that Trento road victory. So I'm actually going to go with my boys in Poland.
I really didn't choose Treffel because I know they got potential, but they competed in a good way in the games as you mentioned, and not like Wolves, for example. So I think there's good work, and they've been like for a decade without competing in this competition. So I'm giving them like another chance for me personally, but I think it's surprising because of their good games, but they were like losable, against Ulm, Juventud on the road. Trento couldn't be better, but I think they have more potential than being 0-3 right now.
All right, let's go to what we're calling sort of the game of the week, where we highlight the game that we want to talk about. I'll let you go first. I know where you're going,
Yeah,
which of course you have to go.
I gotta go. I must say we didn't talk about Valencia too much in the last three episodes, so I have the right. Valencia now is 3-0. They were like in a very bad mood against Cluj Napoca on the road in Romania after a win against another EuroCup team in the ACB League against Juventud at home. So Valencia had a great last quarter of the game to finish off a comeback of a 70-point deficit, but inspired with an unexpected star, Xavi López Arostegui, and also, as always, the work of Semi Oxley, who hurt his ankle, so they gotta go with careful with that. But to do so, Valencia had its best historical performance in 111 European games. They knocked 20 triples, and Xavi López Arostegui made six of eight. So great game for Valencia, and these kind of road wins are also necessary to prove that the team is a contender for everything. And this is a great way to show Pedro Martinez guys how they can react to this type of games, and good for them.
You have to feel for Cluj, though.
Yeah,
It was a
they,
4-point game,
they made
75 seconds left. They get the
Mhm.
turnover. Sean Stevens steals the ball and he throws it right away to Sheme Ozole, who scores. And then another really bad turnover, even also in the backcourt. Lopez Aristegi steals it, and Montero scores. 59 seconds left, and it's an 8-point game. They worked so hard, and yeah, you have to feel for them. So
That shows that basketball is a sport of details, and
yeah, I think that's a little bit of also, the experience. I mean, we've been
of course,
talking already just 3 weeks, whatever, and this is a EuroLeague team, Valencia, and they force those they force you into those situations. All right, so I knew you were going to go with that game, so I went with Gran Canaria, Bahcesehir, 69-63, 66-63, and Gran Canaria. This is an impressive win because they came back. It was a 7-point deficit with 5 minutes left, and they finished the game on a 12-2 run. And you know, we talked about Valencia being a EuroLeague team. Bahcesehir is also a EuroLeague team. If you look at the roster,
Mhm.
so for Gran Canaria, which is let's say a borderline EuroLeague team, for them to do that, finish on that run, 12-2 over the last 5 minutes, only give up 2 points in the final 5 minutes. That was really impressive. You really have to, unless you hate Gran Canaria, you really have to like Brasino, the way he plays. Holmesley's been fantastic. So that's what I'm going to go with. That was, and that was a big game in that group. Gran Canaria really didn't want to lose a home game. Um, and so yeah, that's the game I picked, that those two, they might be playing for home court advantage for first place in the group at the end. So they stole a victory at the end.
And
Um,
you gotta appreciate the work of Gran Canaria because they had two tragic wins in a row. The one with the overtime.
Overtime against Budućnost, right?
Yeah, and then this with a 7 point comeback with a very, very low scoring game. So I think they're like very solid because this group is been the same for a lot of years, and they added some pieces like Kele Homlesi, Carlos Alocen, and guys like that. So I think Gran Canaria is a very interesting team. We're talking about the 2023 EuroCup winners. So
3-0 with a plus minus of +6. They've won their 3 games by 6 points. All right, let's go to the players. I'll start, and you talked about him already, but I wanted to bring up Jared Harper, Hapoel Jerusalem, former Valencia guy, and most people will. Okay, stats geeks. Here we go. People will look at the 23 points a game, but let's go deeper into the numbers. He's hitting just 34.8% on twos, but 35% on threes, and 92.7% on free throws. But let's go even deeper. He's made 38 of 41 free throws in 3 games. 38 of 41 free throws in
he's the
3 games.
Kendrick Nunn of the EuroCup.
26 fouls drawn. He's averaging 8.7 fouls drawn a game. He's averaging 13.7 free throw attempts, averaging 13.7 free throw attempts per game, 12.7 made per game. The last 2 seasons was both over 82% in the EuroLeague. 4.0 was his highest free throw attempts. And his 38 free throws made is 22 more than the next most, and that is Anthony Cohen with Wolves. 38, 22 better than the 16, and 21 free throws, 16 more than Jonathan Motley. So yeah, he is unstoppable. You can only stop him with a foul.
I love this Jared Harper appreciation space because since he was in Valencia, I saw that he's a specialist in drowning falls. He's always drowning falls. He goes to the basket straight and always finds the space to make the contact with the defender and take the advantage. And also made a lot of 2+1s that for me it's incredible for a player that hates like 178 or 175, I don't know. So he props to him because that's the way he's making his points. From 69 points total points, 38 are from the free throw line. That's incredible.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, your player.
And for me, I gotta go not with a player, but a coach, because I think he deserves the mention. Ty Harrelson from ratiopharm. I think you agree with me because his career is less than a decade long, and he's having great results with a very young team. Just to put it on perspective, in 2015, he was a Wayland a college coach, and he admitted that he came to Europe without a job, with the expectation to have something with any team. And 2021, we were like talking this about this earlier. He was with TV Langen in the fourth tier of the German basketball in German Regional A. So it's incredible his evolution. Then with Rasta Vecta won the championship like a year ago, and then he's been incredible with Ulm, being perfect in EuroLeague and in the BBL. And the message he gave us after this third win in the EuroCup is incredible. He said, like, 4 years ago, I came to Vilnius. I left my job in the US. I didn't have a job. I was watching Ritzas and Salgiris and the U18 and the U20 with some of my friends that I used to play in the college basketball with. And here I am today in this situation with this team. I feel really lucky and really happy to be on this court and not in the stands. So um, I gotta value this, and maybe we also forget when things go well. We forget the coach's job, and I think his job is being perfect from now. And he reminds me a little bit of the rise that Thomas Isalo began to have in Bonn, and I expect him to make this team like a really good contender for the playoffs in the EuroCup and also the BPL.
Yeah, and so just to for those who may have heard championship, he won the pro A side the championship in the second division to bring Fechte
Yeah.
up to the first division, and then was still the coach there last season. And he's coming to it's pretty big shoes
Mhm.
to fill that he has. Anton Gavel, who was I would say a legend here playing wise, and then brought Ulm to their first ever championship. He's now gone obviously over to Bamberg, but for him to come here, Harrelson to come to Ulm and to do what he's doing is really impressive. Fechte was a club that did have youngsters, not at the level and amount that Ulm do. So you look at Jonas Grunlow, the 2005 big man prospect for Germany, is one of the main guys. And yeah, it was a really interesting hire, and yeah, it's been the speech. EuroCup, clipped it and put it on the on their Twitter, and I imagine it's also on Instagram. So go check it out. It's really really fun, and yeah, it's a guy that you have to really like, just because of all that. So good pick, good pick, good pick. I'll let you go next one. Also, sort of the surprise.
The surprise for me, not only for this last round. So I think his season is being very good with Turk Telekom. I'm talking about Kyle Alexander, the starting center for Erdekam. Um, Alexander had like another great and efficient game with Turk Telekom. He helped for the third victory in a row, and this time was against Lietkabelis. They won for 72-66, and he's been so important for their camp. And last game he showed he almost had another double-double with 11 points without missing any shot. Also 5 out of 5 in free throws.
No, it was against Cedevita.
Cedevita, sorry, and
Yep.
grabbing nine rebounds. So the Canadian center is being so consistent as of today. He's averaging a double-double of 13 points and 11 rebounds per game. So he's having also good efficiency from the free throw line. That is key for his numbers. He has made 13 out of 18, and he is second in rebounds, third in blocks, second in performance index rating, with 25.7, just behind the guy we talked about right now, Jared Harper, with 26. And there you have two ex-Valencia Basket players that are signing in this competition.
And it all comes back to Valencia.
Yeah.
They had 10 offensive rebounds against Aris. Yeah, 10 that was one off the single game score, the single game record for individual player had 10 offensive rebounds. Yeah, and actually, there's a connection to my guy, and my guy is Joan Beringer, the Cedevita youngster. I did something on the players who I thought would be in the running for the Rising Star Award, and I didn't have Beringer on my radar at all. I didn't even realize that he had moved from France to Cedevita, and I was really kind of looking forward to see what would happen there.
Mhm.
And really, I didn't realize it until he threw down that big old massive alley-oop dunk in the first game. In the first game against Cluj, and then in this game, the thing that impressed me most is that they have him on the court in the final minutes. They are okay with giving a 17-year-old. He'll turn 18 in November. And it was a really high and low game for him. He got posterized by Makundo and by Alexander. He got blocked by Alexander, and then had the ball stolen by Alexander just seconds within each other, and then he got scored on an offensive rebound over Alexander. But then he did have a really nice dunk after a broken play. And in the final stretch, he had a big, follow-up dunk in the final minute. 17-year-old, 15 minutes, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, and a steal. Again, Joan Beringer won't turn 18 until November 11th. So he's been my surprise, and also particularly the game. It was a great learning experience, both highs and lows for the youngster.
He's got 41 minutes in 3 games, so I think
Yeah, he
he's
played 25 minutes. Played
yeah.
25 minutes in the opening game against Cluj. I don't know why he only played 2 minutes against Trento. No, not Trento. We have it in front of you. Whatever it is. Ryer. I think Ryer is what it was. All right. So let's anything else, or should we wrap a bow around round three?
Round three, I just wanna say that you gotta check out the Bourg Turk Telekom game. That's a very good clash, two unbeaten teams in the same group. They are trying to get race to go for the first.
Okay, so we're on round four. Yeah, exactly. So round
Yeah.
four.
And
So
for me,
you have Borg against Turk Telekom.
yeah, and then there's another clash that I think is obvious. I don't know if you can find it, but
I have my game would probably be Tel Aviv against Gran Canaria.
yeah, that was the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the Borg Turk Telekom, obviously that's two teams that are undefeated. And so one team will lose for the first game. But Hapoel Tel Aviv, Gran Canaria, Gran Canaria, Hapoel Tel Aviv, plus minus right now of 16 with a loss there. And yeah, good game. An odd week for the EuroCup. There's a Monday game and a Thursday game. Monday is Besiktas playing at home against Ulm. And that is because Ulm will be traveling to the western coast of the United States to play the Portland Trail Blazers, the exhibition game on Wednesday. An absolutely insane road trip that they have for the next for a 6-game road trip. This Besiktas game will be the third game. They play against Bamberg in the Cup over the weekend. And then, so that's Monday. And then Thursday, and Sergio will be there. Valencia is playing against Ryer. So you have 4 days of EuroCup games to watch. With the Thursday game, means that we will come out with this podcast on Friday, as opposed to as opposed to our usual Thursday delivery date. That's I would expect a comfortable Valencia victory there.
Should be the thing, yeah.
And so we're guaranteed to have two undefeated. Well, no, we're guaranteed to have one undefeated team.
Well,
Let's give Ryer a little bit of. We're guaranteed to have one undefeated team in Group B, but probably two.
And in the Bourg Turk Telekom clash, we got to remember that Turk Telekom played against Cedevita, two unbeaten teams also, and
Yeah.
Turk Telekom made their way to be the one unbeaten. So let's see if they can make it another one for the fourth, and that's interesting to know.
Actually, this is also the matchup of the last two finalists as well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Turk Telekom in 2023, and then 2023, and then
Another
Borg
great one. Yeah.
last year, 2024. All right, Sergio, anything else?
Just have fun for these 4 days of round four of the BKT EuroCup, and see you next week.
And tell people where they can find you.
In Twitter, I'm Llebres11.
All right. And I am at Hein News, HEINNEWS. So the road to greatness, that was round 3. We can't wait to check out round 4. Again, just to remind you, we will be coming out on Friday next week because we do want to talk about that Valencia Ryder game included in on our breakdown. So thanks very much for Sergio Llebres. This is David Hein. Gone Traveling is out.